Well, hey, everybody. Hey, it's Monday night, and I'm grateful that you are joining me tonight for Check In Monday. We started this journey a while back, and here we are still going strong after so many years with checking in. And we originally started this, of course, is just checking in with one another, and it has grown to what it is today, and we thank God for each and every one of you. Listen, if this is your first time, please let me know that this is your first time being with us. It's your first time viewing. If you've never seen me on the screen before, never heard me talk, then let me know this is your first time. Let me know what city and state you may be visiting or viewing us from. We've got from Silver Springs, Maryland, Coleman, of course, our regular, and that is one of my members, Sister Austin, is here, and Sister Rogers. God bless you. Thank you so much for joining and being with us tonight. And do me a favor, you all. You know how we do it. I need y'all to do this for me before we get started. Do this. That's right. Like, share, make comments, and be a part of this discussion on tonight and all of those things. I'm going to get right into it. Not going to, as they would say, bore your patience, but I want to thank God for you. Please like and share with someone. Well, of course, you know, we just came through Thanksgiving last Thursday with Thanksgiving Day, and, you know, it was a time of getting together with family and friends and celebrating. And I always look at Thanksgiving as the beginning or the start point of when we have to deal with the rest of the year, because some of the most celebrated holidays is Thanksgiving and Christmas. Of course, you have, you have 4th of July and stuff like that. Sometimes people have family reunions and those things. But basically, the most celebrated times of the year is dealing with Thanksgiving and Christmas. And so we talked about family and friend holiday watch is what I'm talking about tonight. And that is because when you look at it and think about it, again, November and December are some of the most celebrated times when family and friends get together, and for Thanksgiving and Christmas. And then sometimes people have family reunions and those type of things. But basically, November and December are family months. Those are the months that people really go, because Thanksgiving is one of the most traveled holidays of the year, according to the news and the airports. Atlanta's airport is known as the busiest airport in the world. And they talked about the numbers of people that will be coming through there for Thanksgiving Day. I have a member that works at the airport, and I asked them, how is things at work? They said, we're extremely busy because everyone travels for Thanksgiving. A lot of people travel for Christmas, but you remember the pandemic shut us down and we couldn't do any traveling. Now that we're open back up, everyone is traveling, everyone's on the go, everyone's on the move. So you talk about November and December basically are what we call family months. Family, years ago, we don't have them much anymore, but you remember we used to have a lot of family reunions with some of our older family members, especially our parents and grandparents. They had family reunions where they would pick a day and everyone would, order T-shirts and everything, and you would have family reunions. Sometimes people still have them, but there were family reunions that kept us close. We got to know who our cousins were. We got to know relatives that we had never seen or we didn't know. We didn't know who they were, but we got to meet them through family reunions. My mother was one that was strong on family reunions, and she would push them. We would meet at the parks here in Georgia, and we would go to those parks, and they would have like a picnic type setting where all the young kids and stuff would go and we would eat, and it was a big thing with family. That was a family gathering, a family time of doing that. And so that was something that we used to do that I don't think we do much anymore. I know every now and then we'll pull one out, but there may be some families that do it to the extent that they would even go to hotels and places and be there the whole weekend. And they would call whatever the reunion. If it was our reunion, it was the Martin family. If it's on my wife's side, it was the Pace family and the Gamble family reunion. So it was like the family reunions we got together. And so then we start noticing that we start losing different loved ones during those times. And I want to tell you something, that when you lose loved ones, it's very difficult, especially during holiday seasons. It's hard when you lose them at any time, but it's especially hard when you lose them in holiday seasons, because what you start to notice is that when you lose family or you lose friends, it becomes harder during the holiday season, especially because those are days that usually stand out. Those are days that people usually would be together. And holidays, when you lose someone around the holiday season, even if you lose them before the holiday season, you'll find that it's just not the same. And we have to admit that sometimes holidays are not the same. It seems like the meaning of the season or the meaning of that holiday changes. And, we have to be honest about that. Sometimes when you can lose a loved one, it can be in March, but then you come around to that first Thanksgiving or that first Christmas without them being present, it doesn't feel the same. It's not the same. It's not like it's the same thing. And sometimes, according to how close you all were to the person, the way you go into it is not the same. You don't even feel like being there. You don't feel like going. And sometimes it just doesn't have the same meaning. And I know that, some people, they just hard and I would call them almost cold. They, it don't bother them one way or the other. But I'm have to tell you that when I lose loved ones and stuff, and I have to go back and be without them that first time. I remember when my mother passed, because she was so big on family stuff and family things. And my family, especially on the Martin side, let me tell you something. When we had family, I remember coming up as a little boy that we had family, and what we did, we met on major holidays. 4th of July, we were somewhere in the park with basically all the family. Thanksgiving, we moved around to everyone's house once, whatever year it was. If it was this year, we met at my Aunt Christine's house, and then if the next time Thanksgiving, we may have met at Aunt Arlene's house, and then when Christmas came, we may have met at somebody else's house, and it moved around like that, and everybody was there. And so I had my grandmother had 12 kids, but she had 10, and all of us as children and little ones, we were there because they brought all the family. We every year, that was just what we did. And so that was a big deal to us, was having family gatherings and family time during the holidays. That was big for the Martin family, and we did that religiously. I can't remember a year that it didn't take place. And of course, as those begin to pass off, my mother and my aunts and uncles, that sort of changed, and then some of the relatives and others, nieces and nephews, tried to keep it going. And but it was one of those things. So it just took on a different meaning when they were not present. And one reason it took on a different meaning is because you got to understand, everybody brings something different to the holiday. Everybody brings something different to the holiday from your family. There's nobody that brings the same thing. It's almost like somebody bringing food. They send a list out and say, we need everyone to bring, you bring the chicken, you bring the mac and cheese, you bring the coleslaw, you bring the this. Everybody brought something to the table. I mean, that's what it was. They brought something to the table. And whether it was food or whether it was laughter, you got some that if you knew if they came, it was not going to be a dead holiday. They were going to keep you laughing. They were going to keep you in stitches. They were going to do something crazy and keep you just be laughing till you almost be crying. They would tell jokes and get together and all of those things. Everyone brought something different. Some came that couldn't cook at all, but there was some that would cook. Now in my family, especially on the Martin side. Now on my wife's side, the Pace side, they cook too. But now on my family side, listen, if you would get my aunt, Mama Rose, if you got Mama Rose cooking, and Mama Rose is my grandmother used to talk about her, but Mama Rose was clean. And she would be so clean that if she cleansed something and you could look in the pot and see your face in the water. That's how clean it was. Wasn't no cloudiness. It was if she was cleaning greens or whatever she was cleaning, it was clean. All right. She was just clean. And she couldn't stand. You don't go taking the top, looking in her pot. Get away from my pot. She was clean. And my mother could cook. And then my cousin had a cousin, we call her Mott. But all of them could cook. I mean, and they did that to show you, not just during holidays, but when I was a little boy and my grandmother was alive and my Mama Rose was there and then my cousin Mott was there, they cooked every day. Every day. There's only one day of the week they did not cook, that you didn't get a home cooked meal. And that was on Saturday. Saturday was the shopping day. Saturday, they did all the shopping, bought grocery. But Sunday, it was when we got from church, there was no such thing as going to a fast food or going somewhere to eat. It was a full cooked meal. And it lasted you all week because they would break it down in parts. And I won't get into that. But what I'm just saying is everyone brought something to the table. Nobody just, everyone came with their own specialty in their own area. And they brought something special to the table. And so that's what happens when you have these, when we do this. So what I'm saying to us is everybody, I know it's the most joyous time of the year, Christmas and Thanksgiving. But I want to tell you that everyone doesn't feel that way, especially after a loss of a family or friend. Everyone don't see it the same way. Some people it's the most joyous, but sometimes it's not as joyous for others. And so I say to us in this last few days of November and the rest of the month of December, we should have a family and friends holiday watch. We should watch over those we love. Make sure we're watching out for them because I have to tell you, in the last two weeks, maybe 3 weeks, there have been at least 5 to 6 people that I knew personally that have passed away. I'm not talking about somebody that I heard about. I'm talking about people that I had personal relationships with, personal contacts with, that have passed away within the last 3-4 weeks. All the way from the West Coast to the East Coast. I just had a member on the second Sunday of November, which was the 12th, that passed away only 37 years old and just buried her father in August. He passed in July and just buried him, and now she's gone. I've got to perform her homegoing celebration on Thursday. So you have to understand, it's a joyous time for some, but it's not. And we need to pay more attention to to what's going on with our family and with our friends. We need to pay a little more attention and look out for them. Well, why do you say that? Because it's important that we pay attention to what they say, what they don't say, how they're acting, because they could be acting some words. Because I'll get into the other thing in a minute, but grieving has a way of affecting you. So we need to pay a little more attention to those. Well, how do we do that, Pastor Martin? I'm glad you asked. Let me share this with you because I want you to get this. One of the things, and a few things I'm going to share with you, and I'm going to get out your way. Number one is we've got to go out of our way to be kind and show love, especially during this time when things are going on. I just had somebody that text me yesterday, inbox me about to pray for a certain person, and they used to go to our church actually years ago, and said, please pray for my sister. She got home and found her son dead. Please pray for her. And my response immediately was, we're praying now. And I meant that because we got to go out of our way to be kind and to show love. We've got to stop worrying about and getting caught up with all this stuff, these hang-ups and these things. We got to go out. Sometimes you just got to go out your way to be kind. You got to go out your way to be nice. You got to go out your way to show love, because my uncle used to say it all the time. It's not how people treat you, but it's how you treat them in return. And we need to go out of our way sometimes to show people love. Even though sometimes they may not, what we would call may not be lovable. Sometimes you still got to go out of your way, be kind and show love, family and friends. Sometimes you got to do that. You just got to be nice. You just got to be kind, no matter, because it is just the truth. Sometimes it is not so much on the person. Sometimes it's got to be on us. Sometimes we have got to be the adults in the room. Sometimes we've got to be the ones to show love and kindness to people, even though they may have been ugly to you. You can't turn around and always be ugly to them, especially because sometimes their reaction could be because of a loss of a loved one. It could be the loss of a friend. It could be a lot of stuff. So you got to be kind. You got to know how to be kind. Show kindness, show love. You got to show love. And that's important. So that's one way we would do it. That's one way we would do it. All right. And then number two is try your best to communicate with each other. We really don't communicate. If you think about it, text messages, cell phones, and emails have taken over our communication skills. If you can't text it or write it, it just don't happen. We don't communicate like we used to. We don't even talk to each other like we used to. That's why we go around with things, assuming people don't like us and assuming this and assuming that, because nobody communicates anymore. No one talks anymore. And during these days, we need to talk a little more. It's that holiday watch. I'm telling you, we need to look and watch out for each other. We need to communicate a little bit more. When is the last time you really communicated with your siblings? When is the last time you really communicated with your family members, your friends? When is the last time you really talked? I mean, we went, and sometimes we go for months and we go for years and we don't talk to each other. And then when something happened to them, we almost trying to pull them out the casket. No. Our communication skills, we've got to work on that. We've got to get back to where we used to do it before we had cell phones, text message, and all that stuff. We got to go back to the way we used to communicate how we talk to each other. We got to get back to it. We got to get back. I'm sorry. Hey, Bishop Bryant, good to see you. Our John board members, God bless you, Bishop. We got to get back to communicating. We don't communicate. We assume so much and don't communicate. And sometimes it's just a thing. I've often said to people, somebody said, well, they didn't speak to me when I walked in. let me give you the proper way to deal with that. Sometimes people, it's possible that they did not, and I'm going to say it, sometimes it's possible that they did not see you or hear you say something. How do I handle that? When I go into a room with a lot of people, the first thing I say is, hello, everybody. Because here's a key, and I want you to remember I said this. Remember I told you this, and this will help you from now on. Remember this. Never say that a person did not speak to you until you first spoke to them and they did not speak back. I'm going to let that soak in for just a minute. Never say a person didn't speak to you until you spoke to them first and they didn't speak back. And then even with that, you got to make sure that they heard you when you spoke. All right? So, all right. So our communication skills, we got to work on them. We got to get back to communicating better. All right? I'm closing this. Then we've got to remember that life is like a vapor. According to the scripture in James, let me read that because I want you to get this, because we got to understand that life is too short for some of this stuff we got going on. It really is, y'all. It's too short. James 4:14 says, whereas ye know not what shall be tomorrow on tomorrow, for what is your life? It is even a vapor that appeared for a little time and then vanisheth away. That's why he said, for thou ought to say, if the Lord's will, we shall live and do this and that. We need to understand that at the end of the day, life is too short for some of the stuff we got going on. It's petty at best, and we could be here today and be out of here today. My grandmother used to say we could be here today and gone tomorrow, but that's changed. We could be here today and out of here today. We could be dead today. Today. You would have never told me that my member, 37 years old, wouldn't be here. I'm still trying to wrap my mind around that. When I was in church Sunday, I passed by where she used to sit out all the time, and I'm still trying to wrap my mind around the fact that she's no longer here. Our life is like a vapor. It vanishes. We got too much going on and don't know if we even going to be here. You may not even get a chance to say you're sorry to somebody. So let's watch out for each other. We gotta watch now. All right? Watch now. Amen. Do these things. Another thing we need to do is we need to make sure. Now, this is important, and I want y'all to get this, and I'm going to get out of here shortly. We need to make sure they know that we love them now. It needs to be verbalized. It needs to be shown. It needs to be expressed. I know some people, we've lost that touch. We don't, I ain't gonna tell nobody I love them. Sometimes you gotta tell folk you love them. I know you got to tell them you love them. That's something you need to express. I tell when my grandkids come around, I love you. My wife, my daughter, my son, I love you. Don't wait until they can't hear it. Tell folk now you love them. Stop being so hard. Stop being so cold. Stop being so nonchalant. Tell folk now how you feel about them. And if you tell them how you feel about them now, you ain't got to go through no changes when they're not here. When the late presiding bishop passed, Bishop Patterson passed, I didn't get to say anything at either one of his services, but I wasn't troubled. The reason I was in trouble because he knew how I felt about him. I expressed it. I showed him. Last year when Mother Louise Patterson died, my name was not on either program, but it didn't matter about whether my name was on the program or not. You know why? Because she knew I loved her. Because she would hear from us every week or every other week. We would call her, Mother, we just called to check on you. We just called to say we love you. And sometimes she would call us and say, she called me, Dennis. I said, yes, ma'am. And she called my wife, Junie. Junie, I just called to check on y'all, let y'all know I love y'all. We did that religiously all the time. So when she passed, I didn't have to go through no changes because she knew while she was living, if I had no words over her body, she knew how I felt already. We've got to do a better job. Are y'all listening at me? We've got to do a better job at making sure people know we love them now. Tell somebody, call your family, call your friends, let them know you love them today, now. Don't wait. Stuff going on too much. Let them know, tell them now how you feel. All right? Then this last thing, and I'm going to make a little change here, but I always say this to the members at my church, and I'm going to say it to you tonight. We've got to love each other while we've got each other. Because I know we don't believe this, but we got to love each other while we've got each other. What do you mean? We that are in church, we believe that when people die, there's going to be a better life. We believe that. But let me tell you something. Even though we believe it, and even though we preach and say, I'm going to see them again, and I know where they're going, and I got all that. But on this side of heaven, death is so final. Okay? Sure, we're going to see them again. Sure, we know where they at. Oh, we even say ain't got no doubt. That's true. But death is so final. Because on this side, you don't get to hug them anymore. You don't get to laugh and talk with them anymore. You don't get to have holidays with them. You don't get to spend Christmas with them, celebrate their birthdays. You don't get all of those things that we've done in the past. They're not here to show warmth and laughter. We don't get that anymore. So my advice to all of us is to love each other while we've got each other. Let this holiday, give the gift to somebody this holiday of forgiveness. I know they did you wrong. I know. It was terrible. But why don't you give the gift of forgiveness? Get past it. So you won't have to go through saying, I wished I would have did this or did that. So let's love each other while we have each other. Because once a person is gone, take it from me, they gone. And sometimes the only thing you have is memories. So if you got memories, make them good memories. Don't make them bitter memories. Don't make them bad memories. Make some good memories before the year's out. Because you never know who may be gone before the year's out. All right? So let's do that. All right? Now, let me make a little switch, and I'm going to get out of here, y'all. When people are grieving, let me say this. Some people grieve for months. Some people grieve for years. Some people just don't grieve. Grieving is a hard thing. It's like being hit with a sickness that could be terminal illness. Grief can be almost like a terminal illness because it eats you from the inside out. And sometimes people may be smiling, but grieving on the inside. Let me say this before I get out of here. This is free. If you don't know what to say when a person is grieving, please do me a favor and don't say anything. If you don't know what to say, if you don't know what to say, just be quiet. I'll go somewhere and pray to the Lord tell you what to say. All right? If you don't know what to say, just be quiet. Okay? Last thing, because I'm like this, and I did this yesterday, so I'm going to tell you, I won't tell you why I did it. Yes, I will. I'll tell you since I'm talking to you. I had posted something from my Thanksgiving Day, and my sisters, my wife and them, they were singing, and they do that every Thanksgiving. That's what they do when they get together, sing. They singers, so they sing. And someone came on one of the posts, and they said, I'm turning the channel or something because it's just not the same as to say, it's not the same because LaShawn and Duranis is not there. And so I said, well, what do you expect? They've lost sisters. For them to be singing, period, is a blessing. And when the person came back, they said, well, I still say the same thing, feel the same way. So I'll tell you what I did. I wanted them to feel the same way they felt by themselves. So I blocked them. You don't even have to be on this channel. I'm going to help you out. You can feel that way at your house, but you don't get to express it over here. All right? Then something was going on. I think my wife and them was singing at a service Saturday. And someone posted it. We didn't post it. Someone else posted it. And so, I shared it on the family group thing. And someone came on and said something crazy and said, I'm leaving this group. And you ain't got to leave. So I banned them. I'm over the group, so I banned them from the group. What I want to say this to you, and this will help somebody out, even when people come at you or whatever. I know I think it's the Fourth Amendment is the freedom of speech or whatever. But you don't get the freedom of speech to say whatever you want to me or about me. You may have the freedom of speech, but I have the ability to make sure that you have to say it somewhere else, but you don't get to say it to me, around me, or about me. So I ban and block people. I don't delete people. I ban them and block them. I help them out. You don't have to announce you're not going to look at something, and you don't have to announce that you're leaving something. Just leave. Why you got to announce it? But it shows you how far we are. Some people don't know how to recognize people that may still be grieving or just barely making it through, and they don't even know. Don't even know. And so if you don't know what to say, go somewhere in a room and just talk to yourself. Just talk to yourself. Just say it to yourself. Okay? But I admonish every one of you to do those things. Go out your way, be kind, communicate better. Remember that life is short. Make sure somebody know you love them today. You know, my grandson King, he's 4, and I'll grab him and hug him, and he said, "Papa," I said, "I just want you to know I love you. You love me. I love you. Yes, yes, sir. I love you too." And my grandkids, when they come around, "I love you. I love." We keep that thing going, because I mean, you just never know, you know. And I want them to know. I want people around me to know I love them, and I ain't faking. I absolutely know nobody, and I know people say don't say that, but I absolutely don't have a grudge against anybody, no hate for nobody, no nothing, because I recognize that life is too short, and I don't want to leave out of here with hate in my heart for anybody. So I just learned to be kind to people. And if I don't, if it's something that I just sort of, you know, there's a lot of things I could say and do, but I've just learned to be nice, be kind, stop all this craziness, and learn how to control this thing in our mouths that's full of deadly poison. All right. Well, I pray and trust that you got some out of this tonight. Why don't you be kind to someone? Be nice. Tell somebody this week. Let them know. Just give somebody the gift of love, forgiveness, and just show kindness to people. They've been mean to you, but show kindness anyway. You know, just let them know I love you. I love you. You know, we say that in church. I love you, and there's not a thing you can do about it. I really mean that. I love you, and there's not a thing you can do about it. Not at all. I love you. I love everyone. There's not a thing you can do about it. Not at all. I try my best to live by what I say. Love is kind, kind all the time. Yes, it's true. I love you. I love you. And you can't do nothing about it. Thank you all for joining me tonight. Be kind to someone. Let's watch out for each other for the holidays. Let's pray. If you see somebody down and out, see somebody, family member, friend, somebody that's not feeling it, go give them a hug. Let them know I got you. I'm praying for you. Take somebody out to eat. Do something. Invite them. Someone that they may be going through, and maybe their loved ones are not even here in the city. Maybe they've lost loved ones. Invite them to Christmas dinner. Take them out. Do something. Just let them know we appreciate you. I love you. And you never know what a little love and kindness will do and how far it will go. All right. The Lord bless you and the Lord keep you. Thank you so much. I got a Cash App somewhere here, right here. There it is. If you want to send me a little something tonight, I don't do this for that, but people always ask me, can we send you something? And people do. If you want to send me a Cash App, there it is, the $ DLMSR. Send me something. And if you appreciate what we've done and what we talk about. Listen, I want to make sure we do this. It's been a year now I wrote this book, Help, I'm Grieving, Dealing with the Process. And somebody that lost a loved one, you may be grieving, and maybe you know some people. Someone that was on here earlier, I think they're still here. I think Spencer, what is that? Is that? Can't see what it is, but inboxed me and said, "Look, I got your book and sending it to somebody for to get them so they can get it. And if you know somebody that need this book, get it for Christmas. Send it to them. You can go, you can get it. I'm gonna tell you how I can do it. Excuse me. You can get it on my website, dlmartin.org, or you can get it off of Amazon. It's $14.95. It'll be a blessing to you. You got subjects in this book. Lord, I don't understand. No one grieves the same way. It's important that we get it. Learning how to adjust and giving yourself time to grieve and heal. And you can get that. So go and order the book today. And I know it'll be a blessing to you. Even if you need to get it and read it. Then those of you that would like to follow me, you can follow me. You can text the word DLM, the letters DLM to 833-675-6263. Whenever I'm live, I will send out a notification, let you know I'm going on live, coming on live maybe 15, 20 minutes before. You can join me and keep abreast of what we're doing and how things are going. So I would love for you to do that and be a part of that. So make sure you do that. Follow me on social media, all the platforms, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. I'm on Twitter, which is X now, and you can follow me on all those platforms. All right. So I look forward to you doing that. Look forward to connecting with you. I pray and trust that you will have a wonderful week this week. I pray and trust that the favor of God will surround you like a shield. Go and be kind to somebody. Let them know you love them and appreciate them. The Lord bless you and the Lord keep you is my prayer.